Welcome into the Heideman 5 on Rewind Sports. Dusty Litster with you. We're going to talk about some of the top games in the state of Utah, both on the boys' side and the girls' side. And, of course, this video is brought to you by Heideman and Associates. Look, I always talk about if it's RJ Performance Group, if it's Black Clover or anybody else that we talk about, we use either their products, these services, or we really stand behind them like we do with Utah Army National Guard. But Justin Heideman and Associates, that is something near and dear to me because I've known Justin Heideman for a very long time. Both of us born and raised in Wellington, Utah. Justin's one of my favorite people, and he's someone that I would trust anyone going to, knowing that they were going to get the service that they were looking for. If you have any law needs whatsoever, you feel like you're wronged, or you just have a question of whether or not you have a case on something that you've been wondering about for however long, go to Heideman and Associates. Go to www.utah.law, find out which office is closest to you, and get a free consultation. Justin will take care of you. I absolutely guarantee it. Let him know that the Rewind sent you, and Justin will take care of you. Tell him that Dusty sent you. I promise you. It won't matter. He will take care of you, and he's someone I absolutely trust beyond anything else. All right, let's go through the top games, at least in my view, this week around the state of Utah. First, let's start with the girls' side, shall we? Ladies first. We got a couple double dips in here. The boys and girls' side of these games are going to be absolutely spectacular. How about Maple Mountain and Springville? This is a Region 8 rivalry. You've had sisters play on both sides of this rivalry if you were the Eatons. But Springville's Kayla Jackson averaging 13 points per game. Addison Johnson, 11 points per game, going up against Sheridan Leggett from Maple Mountain, who was on our top 5 plays. This is going to be and is always a close game, hard-fought game. Man, I just hope that students are able to get into this one and go enjoy it because it's usually a very good atmosphere as well. How about the week for South Sevier? They're going to have to depend on Chapel, Okerlund, and Johnson because they got a tough week. First, they got to go take on the Emory Spartans and what that team possesses. And then after that, they got to play against Carbon. Remember, Emory beat Carbon, and they're going to go take on McKenna Blank, who has gone through the great run of the Blank sisters at Carbon High School. Like the Warburtons back in the early 2000s, the Blanks in the 10s have been absolute leaders of that program. Jeff Blank, their dad, he's got to be very proud. But my Carbon Dinos, let's see if they're up to the task or South Sevier are going to take care of business. And then we look in 6A. For this, what's going on this week, Harriman and Riverton. Falatea and crew took care of business, taking out Bingham last week. Now they got a big one taking on Harriman this week. Can they take on the Helter Skelter pace? I know they want to play that. It's going to be very interesting what Riverton does. You know they like to slow it down, play defense. Has been the hallmark of Riverton basketball for a long time. And then, of course, Juan Diego and Cedar Valley. That's just going to be the boys' side. A very important game within region play. Going to be a lot of fun to see what these ladies do this week. We'll be looking for them on the top 5 plays, and not only that, all the other videos that we put out throughout the week. Now let's take a look at the gentlemen, shall we? Maple Mountain and Springville on the boys' side, both undefeated in region play. Who's going to come out the kings in the early part of Region 8? Going to be really big. The reigning 5A champion Springville Red Devils looking very good. How about the Region 4 battles this week? Westlake taking on AF. AF coming off that loss against Skyridge. Speaking of Skyridge, they go take on PG because PG got upset by Low Peak last week. And then to close the week, the two teams, the two biggest wins in last week that we didn't see coming, Lone Peak at Skyridge. And, of course, you can catch every Skyridge game on the Rewind Sports Network on highschoolrewind.com. And then some of those might be available on another website as well. We'll let you know on Twitter. Juan Diego Cedar Valley. Yeah, on the boys' side, too, we got a good one. The Aviators, Dallin Rupper, Cole Roberts will need to be big for Cedar Valley. Talon Valdez, congratulations, hitting the 1,000-point barrier this week, or probably last week. He's an absolute monster. He was on our top 5 plays. He's averaging 20 points per game. Going to be a big one. And then one of the last games I want to talk about, Judge and Grantsville. Man, it feels good to talk about Judge basketball, doesn't it? And Coach Sanjin Kolovrat, he's done an outstanding job. Came over from Hillcrest to Judge. And it's good to see Judge back in the mix. This is going to be a good one. Grantsville was my 3A pick. Going to be a lot of fun. Look, if there's games coming up that you want us to talk about, you want to hit me up with some knowledge, please feel free to do so. Hit us up at rewind_guys or at Dusty Litster on Twitter. Love to hear from you. Find me on Instagram at Dusty Litster as well. But for Vince Francis, I'm Dusty Litster. Thanks for joining us. Watching the Heideman 5, brought to you by the Heideman and Associates.